Organized Sound Podcast. Welcome back. I'm here for the second time with Boston Music Award nominee Austin Fair.
Yeah,
How you doing today?
that sounds really cool. Actually.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
I was waiting. I've been waiting just to say that. I've been waiting just to get that one off. Like, yo,
That's lit. Yeah.
the man is here. How you feeling?
I feel good. I feel like re-energized, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Like I honestly didn't have much planned for the rest of the year after Pioneer, because I kind of just like me and Hum made that project just off the strength, and then like it kind of just took its own wave. Like I had probably a whole different project that I was gonna do this year, but then Pioneer just kind of took over my year, and it just keeps snowballing. Like more people just keep first hearing it for the first time, and we just keep making more content for it now.
The press run continues. The press run has been crazy. Can you give me a little timeline of like the press run and when you felt like, oh yeah, this is picking up traction kind of residually?
Honestly, it's crazy because like the first time that we dropped the project, like I did a whole rollout. I did the usual, like I did everything you're supposed to do, put it that way. And honestly, not that many people heard Pioneer when it first came out, or like the first like 2 months. Not that many people heard it, but the people that did listen to it, oh my God, they're like drawn to it. They're like, this is your best work.
Engaging.
Like, everything is different now. Like this is definitely something different than what you've done in the past. Everybody seemed to have that reaction. The first time where like a platform reached out to us was It's Lit Boston podcast. And
did you do that one remotely?
Yeah, we did that remotely. It was like early pandemic, and they were all working off like Zoom and stuff like that. So we got to just do that podcast and really explain like what our vision was, and they kind of got behind it. Then Vanya Land got behind it. Shout out to Vicky, she's awesome. And it just keeps snowballing. I can't explain it, but once that announcement happened, I honestly didn't even know it happened. I didn't know it was coming up. I had no clue we were even like in the consideration
right
in the first place. But this is it. They hit me up and was like, "Oh, congratulations." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" It's like early morning. I had no clue. And then they're like, "Oh, like," and they sent the screenshots. And I'm like, "Oh, album of the year." I'm like, "What? Like, what is this?" I didn't know if it was like a blog or something. And then it was Boston Music Awards. I'm like, bro, I tweeted about that shit like a week before it happened.
You manifested it.
Yeah. Like I tweeted, I'm like, oh, my goal for next year is Boston Music Awards. People are like, oh, like you should shoot higher, blah, blah, blah. I get it. I'm someone that likes to make, checkpoints.
Yeah.
Along the way. I know
there's no reason to do the shortcuts.
If I'm going to be in mass for now, like I'm going to try to knock out everything that I can do while I'm here. That's the game.
That's dope. Yeah. I was actually over at Inappropriality podcast on Tuesday, and we were just talking about you and how we enjoy your artistry. It was pretty around the board. Everyone was rocking with it. So, at what point does the Deluxe Edition come in?
Oh, once I saw the reaction from people and honestly just felt the warmth of people actually like coming onto the project and starting to listen to it more in depth. And the announcement, I was just like, yo, because I had already been recording. I'm always recording. I have plenty of music at all times. I could drop projects whenever. But I had moved to a new crib. I won't say where, but I'm able to record at home now because the pandemic really affected things. You know, Humbeats moved down south. He's in Atlanta now. So it's like, I don't have my go-to anymore to like go record in Boston, come back, stuff like that. Humbeats was always the plug. So now I had to figure out a way where I could just do it by myself. And now I have a little home set up. So I recorded, I'd say 65-75% of Pioneer Deluxe just at home, and then had Hum mix it. So it all came together just organically, but it's the same way that the original was made. The original Pioneer was just beats that I had in my email from anywhere between now and 2014 from Hum Beats. There's a song called Living Room on there that is from 2014, and we just remade it. So when I went and did the first one, it was just like me coming to Hum, like, yo, I already wrote all these songs on your beats, and we just recorded them in like 2 days.
Wow. That's an interesting process, right? Yeah. This idea of the beats exist, and you write separately completely off of it, and you record in a chunk, as opposed to like, you know, the other way to do it would be like song by song, and like the song gets done, the next song gets done. But I like that approach because that lets you have more of a cohesive album, right?
I did that for Alumni as well. It's,
yes.
It's a process that I don't know when I specifically started it, but it was important because it kind of lets me like create this like world or like a story that just takes its own wave because it's like one complete thought. Like with Alumni, I was like, I'm going to make 16 bar verses. Songs are going to have 3 verses on them. And if you don't have the fucking attention span to sit through this, then that's fine. But if you do, you're going to be like, oh my God, this is crazy. Because if you relate to it, you're going to be like, wow. Same thing with Pioneer. I was just feeling a certain way, and I had to just get all those thoughts off at once. So the beats just kept coming to me. I started looking through my email. I started finding that sound, that classical, just like musical sound, that instrumental sound, that live sound. Like the way I recorded the verses was just all the way through on purpose. Like there's little flaws that happen throughout the project, but it's on purpose because I wanted every verse to just go all the way through. If you look at the Austin Fair show, shout out to the Austin Fair show.
Shout out to the Austin Fair show.
We have footage of like recording certain songs off Pioneer, and it's like same thing I'm saying. Like the whole verse is recorded all the way through, and then we'll just add ad libs or dubs and stuff like that after. But there's no punches. There's no like doing 2 bars and then doing 2 more bars.
Yeah, so you're practicing ahead of time.
Yeah, it's supposed to sound
ready
live.
To just go.
Yeah, it's supposed to.
And that's easier on the other side because of course you're gonna perform it live at some point. Yeah. And so now you learned it in that kind of like live way.
Yeah.
Nice. We're gonna dig all the way into Pioneer. I think the only other question I had was kind of, so you work at 22 News. We were talking about that earlier. Yeah. What was that? How did they find out? And what was it like to be in that situation where, the people at my work are realizing my work? Because from the interview, it sounded like not too many people knew you were an artist.
Yeah, it's like this. I go anywhere that I work professionally and try to just be myself and not even mention it. Like I don't
make a separation between the two worlds.
I don't want it to add into how people judge me. I just want my work to speak for itself. And then along the lines, like we started learning more about each other, and then people started learning, this guy. It's hard for me to not say I make music.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's such a part of
when people ask
lifestyle.
me, what'd you do over the weekend? Or it's like, I just did a show in Boston, and like I'm turned up right now. It's hard to avoid the conversation. So like they kind of like one by one start like learning the story, and I'll show them music or something, but I don't force it on anybody anymore. I've changed a lot, like in that sense of like not forcing my music on people. I focus really on just who already listens and making sure that they're happy with it, and then I keep going from there. But as far as work, I just keep working, man. I just keep it G, and then eventually they find out. So that's how it happened. It was all organic. Like I mentioned my music to
the whole come up. I feel
like I mentioned my music to Ciara before that interview happened, but it took time for it to like matter.
Exactly.
Boston Music Awards.
We hear about this artist. They do music. No matter who you are, there's gonna be like a separation between you finding out and you actually checking it out.
For sure.
The real dig in.
I don't take it personal either. Yeah.
Where? It's been a ride. It feels like this second piece of this year has just been like a real ride for you, and I've just seen it happen. So I want to get into Pioneer and all of it. We talked about this sound, and so I took a really deep listen a couple times, and then to me, sonically, you were talking about the sound, and to me, it brings in a lot of jazzy elements.
Yeah.
And the vibe to me has a very like Black excellence feeling to it.
Yeah.
Kind of, I don't know, reminiscent of like, like the style, like the clothing style of like someone like the Roots or Black Thought, where it's like, top hat, expensive alcohol, like 3-piece suit.
That's
like
right.
I get those kind of vibes from the project sonically. And then in terms of you rapping, I think you're just very true to the fact that you're a stoner and that you're a baller.
Yeah.
And being a baller means so many different things, like actually like being an athlete, but also the like money portion of balling out. And then also this inspirational, like, I'm an underdog, but I'm coming up, I'm winning. I have this like lion heart.
Yeah.
And all that is encapsulated in being a baller. So let's jump. Do you want to add to that at all in terms of what you thought this album was about thematically?
Definitely. I think you hit the nail on the head as far as like the bravado of it. Like it's supposed to be like just play this all the way through, vibe out. Don't overthink while you're listening. Just let it play. Listen to the sounds. Listen to the music. Like there's a song Up and Away on there where it's super, like the beat is loud. Like it's all like it sounds like a band, when you're listening to it.
A lot of horns.
My voice might like drown out mid verse and then come back, and you're kind of just like, by the end of it, you're just like, wow, that was like an experience. It's not just a regular song. Like Pioneer is supposed to feel like an experience all the way through, and that's mostly credit to Hum Beats, and then just the way that my brain was working at the time. I wanted to talk about my struggles. I wanted to talk about being that underdog, but I'm still super confident. Like I know when it's quiet. I know when it gets like low on like attention and things like that, and I don't even care anymore. I just keep working through it, and then people kind of tune in whenever they tune in, and they're like, and they be like, damn, he's still working on this shit. But it's like I don't change at all. I just keep doing the same thing.
That's that dedication. That's that consistency. That's what that Boston podcast was also kind of complimenting you on, is the consistency. Yeah. And we're seeing this kind of new formula for music that revolves around making sure you have a back catalog so that you can always be collecting off of that, even when you have the major record deal. So something I want to quickly go over, you switched from one distributor to United Masters. Yeah. And I wanted to know why you did that and how that experience has been for you now, being there.
I got frustrated with DistroKid. It just wasn't working for me because I like having more control of my shit. They have a lot of like weird cover art rules and rules about like titles. Like you can't even do like a song that's like the title is all caps on DistroKid because they think that you're like not taking it serious. Like they do all this like preventive like just kind of like a safety net of things to make sure that everything that gets uploaded is like uniform. And I get it because like a lot of artists do need that. But for people like me, like I know what I'm doing already. I've been doing this shit for like 10 years.
Right.
So United Masters, I had initially signed up when they first kind of like revealed themselves and they started doing interviews. I forgot the guy's name, but the owner, like he did a few like Breakfast Club interviews and things like that. So I was
out?
Yeah. I was listening and I was paying attention and I signed up early and I got accepted, and you kind of had to like go through like that first like weird acceptance thing at first. I never uploaded anything, but I just kept my account.
Yeah.
And Pioneer, I think, was the first project that I put on there. That was the first piece of music that I officially put out on United Masters, and I love it. It's so simple. They give you a master link for it by itself. You don't have to go to a third party and put links together. They'll do it for you. They have a whole thing set up. It's like, it's a no-brainer. Like, it just works.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. A lot of the existing companies have kind of retrofitted a digital strategy onto their old distribution service.
Yeah.
And now when you build a distribution service from the ground up for the digital age, obviously it's just going to
They seem like they really know, or they've talked to artists. They seem like they actually did the groundwork and like
the research and development.
And they have partnerships with like the NBA, things like that. You could submit your music to get on commercials and shit like that, just off the hip. It's like, it's a no-brainer for unsigned people like me, just people that are trying to get it now. Like, it's a no-brainer.
Sweet. I'm glad for that. And this other question I have that I don't want to forget because I didn't write it down. Boston Music Award voting. When does that end?
The voting's over.
Voting's over.
But
okay.
December 11th, they announced it, and I think I'm confident. I'm not like overly stressed about it. I'm not gonna like get mad if I lose and like go on Twitter and start spazzing out. Like, the announcement is December 11th.
Okay. We'll look out for that. I already voted for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Away.
I know everybody else going crazy. Like everybody that was nominated is like super fire. So like shout out to everybody that was even nominated, because like so many, like I saw the people that stood out to me was Cake Swag. She's like she works like harder than everybody that I could think of in this entire state. Like, so seeing her just like I think it was like Best New Artist or something like that. That was fire. Luke Bars, his project, Good Evil, like album of the year, like nomination shit like that aside, he is going crazy this year. Everybody in that whole collective, it's crazy. Saint Leor for like Best New Artist, I think too. He just dropped a video. He's super fire. Like, it's just awesome because I started doing my Boston shows like with a lot of these people. You know what I mean? It was kind of like a wave. Like, we all. It's a
class. Like, you're in their class.
It feels like that, and I feel like they would say the same thing because, like, 2017ish, 2018, we were all kind of like doing these like weird shows and kind of just learning out our swags, and like I could see DMs from like, oh, we were already talking before, like, and then shit kind of like falls through, and then you like realize, oh damn, like we've been on this same grind for a minute. So, and
everyone's still here.
Hell
like, everyone who's about it is still here.
Right, exactly. It's all natural. It's so fire. Yeah. So shout out to everybody that gets nominated. Whoever wins, I'm not on no hater shit ever.
Awesome. Yeah, I wish the best for everyone, and it just feels like things have been bubbling up the last couple years, and it's just ready to spill over. Like, this is the time.
Yeah.
We're gonna jump back into the Pioneer. We got a lot more to talk about here, and just some like quotable stuff. But first off, the sports references. You're a big sports fan.
Yeah.
And I want to know the playing that you did in like grade school, high school, or college. Did you play?
I played football for like 7 years before high school, and then like all 4 years of high school. So I was all right.
Did you have the sports dream, or you always knew like, oh, I'm all right? And
I was more of a theater guy in high school.
Okay.
And before high school, I did a bunch of plays. I was like Langston Hughes in a play, main like lead roles and shit. Like, I did a bunch of theater stuff and just acting, and I'm always just, I never do one thing. It's like it's a gift and a curse.
I feel like that's the new wave of like multi-talent is super important.
But when I was in school, that wasn't like regular. That wasn't like
that was almost problematic, right?
It was very problematic because when I'm at football practice and my coach is like, "The fuck you doing at theater?" Like, I was like, I don't know. It's just who I am, you know. And they don't design school. And I'm not anti-school. I'm very pro-school. They don't design the shit for like people that are just naturally talented. It's more like do your homework, do this test, do the homework, do the test. And it's like not set up for, like, homework wasn't like, it didn't click in my head for some reason. It just didn't work. Yeah. And I would go to my test though and get A's and B's. And teachers are like, what are you, like, what is going on? Like, I'd have to do all these, like, extra meetings after class and shit like that. I'm just always doing other things. I'm always thinking about art. I'm always thinking about just expressing myself in different ways. So a lot of that acting and directing and things like that, that's always going to be a part of me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Man, that's a lot to unpack, because it makes me think of, like, what you're interested in doing in the future, but also kind of like the process. But I want to move on here.
Yeah.
The song Wins. You said, we just some 413 kids trying to give ourselves a name because we never had shit.
Yeah.
Talk about that piece of, like, the yearning, and what about your childhood made you want it so bad?
That whole song is kind of just like, just open honesty about my messed up brain about shit. Like, it's mostly about like the support that we get from our area, and it's kind of like a gift and a curse, because it kind of traps you, but people kind of want you for themselves, and they don't want you to get to that next level. I said a line like, this is not a rock star, this a rap, so the venue never packed unless I'm doing jumping jacks or something like that. And I was just saying, like these old rock bands, like, they're still selling out all these venues that we're doing and shit like that. But, like, rappers, people look at it a certain way. Like, once you get past a certain point, they don't want to support it. People start hating. It was funny, the WWLP thing I did, where they did a piece on me and we got on TV and all that cool shit. I started looking at the shares, because I never really used Facebook like that, but I started using it for that. And I looked at, like, what people were saying, and there was some people that were like, like, who is this guy? I got friends that are better than him, yada yada yada. I'm like, damn, like, that's kind of cool, actually. Like, it's hater
that's
shit.
Interesting.
It's hater shit, but it's like
textbook hater shit.
But it's like, maybe I'm inspiring people from my area to, like, want to be better than me, and if they feel like they're better than me, then prove it. That's cool to me. I'm not against any of that, but in that song, I was just kind of having a moment of reflection, self-reflection, just being like, yo, like, we're doing this shit for real. We're just 413 kids. Like, it was really about me and my friends, me and my boy Jay Frost. He's moving to New Orleans to do his tattoo shit on a whole different level now. Like, we really, like, we're driving to Boston all the time. The whole first verse, not the first verse, but the first couple of bars of that song, I was talking about, like, having to drive to Roxbury to do this, like, audition that we did for this House of Blues show. And the House of Blues show didn't end up happening, but we paid a bunch of money, and, like, he had a Benz at the time, so I was whipping in a Benz, blah, blah, blah. Like, it was just talking shit, but it was just, like, crazy, because it's like, yo, these are my, like, real friends, and we, like, all these little moments that keep happening, and we, like, keep losing and winning and keep losing and winning. That's what matters to me. It just keeps, like, elevating us and just keeps inspiring us to do better.
The journey is so valuable.
Like, we don't care about none of that. Like, there's a lot of people that think you have to pop when you're, like, 16 or 18. I'm like, yo, we're from Massachusetts. Like, a lot of the people that pop when they're, like, super young, they're from kind of, like, already bubbling areas, or they have older OGs that are
100%.
You know, like, lifting them up over that fence. Like, I'm sure when they saw Juice WRLD, and it was like Lil Durk and all these dudes, like, they witnessed what was going on. They were like, yo, we got to help this dude. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, he's like, he could be bigger than all of us.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and he was.
Yeah,
like,
you know what I'm saying?
And, like, yeah, Durk, G Herbo, and
they didn't hate on him.
Oh, who's the other guy?
Bibby.
Bibby.
Yeah.
Yes. They saw it and they said, "Oh, I know what this is, and I know the business because we've been doing the business for 3 years. Let's go with this."
Yeah, we're not gonna hate on him. Let's show him love.
Juice WRLD was overnight, damn near.
Yeah,
because of all those pieces.
Right. You gotta just everybody in the area, like, stop hating. Just start like contributing. It's all a contribution. I'm not bigger than anybody. I'm not like that. But I'm giving my all. Like, I'm giving my constant effort. I'm giving homage back to the area everywhere I go. It doesn't matter if I'm on TV or doing a show out here, doing any type of thing. If I were to win an award, I'm still going to shout out the 413 because that's just how I was raised. Like, it's just how I think.
Yeah. I really appreciate that about your music. You said something like, I'm going to stay ballin', whether it's Rucker Park or Marshall Roy.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Like, you're always coming back to this area. And I think that's valuable because, you know, you're allowed to just go off to New Orleans, Atlanta, and all that stuff. But to not forget where you came from is super important.
And people that are from here and people that understand those bars, it's kind of like a nod to them. Like, right. I know while they're listening, they're gonna be like, oh, like, you know what I mean. So it's like it means a lot to me to say those things too. So
yeah, that it allows you to connect with those particular people at another level where they just know, oh yeah, he lived this. Okay, the next song I want to talk about, Money Longer, Patagonia, Play It Smarter. New persona, new persona, new persona. You've been doing music for 10 years, you kind of talked about earlier.
Yeah.
What do you do? And you're in this transition phase, right? You're the college graduate, and now you're very established. You've got your adulting. You've got your steady relationship and your new spot and your, you know, career type of job. How do you reinvent yourself in a time like this?
Especially like the time like this part, like that's the craziest part to me is that
the now is very particular. Like
in my professional world, I guess, because all of it seems the same to me. Honestly, I don't take anything too serious. I treat every job kind of like the same. I know that my heart is in music and art, so jobs are just jobs to me. But I'm also very blessed to be in the scenario I'm in. But in the pandemic, right? We didn't stop. There's no, like, TV keeps going.
TV, the arts in general, you know, people are still putting out music and
I realized that
it's not ended.
I had to talk to, like, I was still working and all that, but I kind of, like, got, like, sidetracked with the music because I didn't know what people were accepting, like, what people, like, did people want music? Did they want me to wait? Like, I'm a big performer, so I like to do shows, and it's like, all right, what project do I make that I can put out where I don't have to perform it, but it still gives people some type of good feeling? I actually hit up Luke Bars, like via text, because I saw that they were dropping videos and stuff, and I was just like, yo, like, what do you think? Like, what do you, like, what's like, what are y'all doing over there? Like, type shit, because I'm not in Boston like that.
What's the word?
Much. And he was just like, yo, like, you gotta, like, you know what I mean? You gotta just keep going. Like, we gotta get it. Like, it just is what it is. And it, like, I'm paraphrasing, but it just showed me, like, yo, as artists, we kind of are like public servants. So we end up, like, you either sink or swim. You gotta drop something. You gotta come with something. You gotta supply people with something. I'm not, like, look at, and I hate to say shit like this, but, like, Big Sean or Meek Mill, like, you'd start taking so much time off and people, like, they don't care no more. Like, it'll be cool. You'll get your numbers because your name is that big, but it don't feel like.
I think those guys in particular, it feels like it's here and then it's gone.
Yeah, like,
very quickly.
I can tell you don't care as much as you should. So that's what stands out to me, and I don't ever want to be painted as that. I want people to know I'm still here. Every single time. Constantly. Every project that you hear from me kind of changes. Like, I'm doing different stuff every time. I'm supplying different audiences. So you might be a fan of me from hearing a song like Slide, or you might have heard Pioneer, and you're like, this is the same person.
Very different energy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but it is what it is.
I like that. But yeah, your versatility is pretty particular.
Yeah.
But yeah, being an artist, I can remember taking some time off in like May. I wasn't really doing anything May, June, July. I wasn't like posting to social media. I wasn't just making anything. And it was just like, well, am I like, when is this going to end?
Yeah.
Was also that feeling of like, how long can I not be doing anything, because it's such a part of my identity, and it's like, when is this gonna get called off and start again? And then it's like, oh, that permission is up to you.
Right.
Everybody just has to decide for themselves, and it is a good time to take a break if you need a break, and it's a good time to get rolling if you're Austin Fair and you feel like, oh, I have all these songs and I have to just put something out right now.
It worked out for people like me who record a lot. Like, I record a lot of music, like, to the point where I could take 2 weeks off, but I have so many songs, it doesn't matter. Or, like, you have to stockpile. You have to have content ready to go. I have, like, full episodes of the Austin Fair show that are just sitting there.
Waiting.
But, but it's like, if you don't give yourself that leverage and just having content ready to go, you're going to look like you're slacking at some point. Like, if you go on my page, I'm gonna have something like every week going on. It's a constant flow, pandemic or not. We're public servants. We gotta give people what they need. It's art. It's love. It's like people need that entertainment. They need to scratch that itch of music and arts, and that's probably the main thing. Like, YouTube went down yesterday.
I think I just heard about that.
YouTube went down for like an hour.
And I was unthinkable.
Like, and I was like,
people melted, you know?
I was like, wait, like, that's all I do. Like,
that's the whole universe.
Yeah, like, I don't watch cable TV or Netflix. Like, I wasn't watching the news before I was working in it. I barely watch it now. But like YouTube going down, I was like, oh man, like, this shit, it matters. Like, all this shit really has a purpose. It means so much to everybody. Like, you get attached to it.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
It's there to hold you down.
Yeah.
And it is the bottomless pit.
Yeah.
It's
the
like
only thing we can do now. So.
The bottomless well of giving.
Yeah.
YouTube is always going to give you something. The algorithm's going to be like, nah, you haven't seen this. There's no getting to the bottom of YouTube.
Facts.
The next song I want to talk about is Antisocial. And it's kind of funny because the song's called Antisocial, but more so the song is about you getting high and you getting fly.
Yeah.
How does Austin Fair get fly right now?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm drawn to like simple stuff. I'm not like super flashy, but I like just collecting things over time. I started thrift shopping like a few years ago. I think Kizzo recommended that to me, honestly. And then when I started doing it, I was like, oh, this is fire because you can find stuff that just nobody else has. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the rare things I'm very attracted to rare things right now.
It gives you a chance to like kind of form your own style without breaking the bank, you know?
Yeah.
Buying some expensive ass shit and then it like doesn't fit right or like things like that. And you're like, damn, I just wasted all this money. But you can waste money through shopping, and like I honestly, every time I go, I'll go get a whole haul of stuff and probably get rid of like 2-3 things out of it, and not even wear it. But it's like it's fun. It's like a hobby, and honestly, like I be smoking mad weed, so like I need shit that's just like kind of chill. I don't like wearing like a bunch of pants all the time and shit.
Like nothing tight or anything like that. Yeah. Nothing where it's choking you. So where's the best place to thrift in Western Mass?
Oh man, shit, I don't even know. I mean, they're all kind of equal. I just go to like Savers and shit. Like
me and my mom love Savers. And
yeah, shout out to Savers.
I've been giving a lot too. I kind of like cleaned out my closet and went in the attic and found all this stuff from high school, and I was like, "Savers, here we come."
Because you gotta just let it go sometimes.
That feels good too, letting things go.
When I was moving, I got rid of like at least like 5-6 bags of just clothes on clothes and sneakers, stuff like that. It was time. It was time.
Yeah, and you get that fresh start. That's what's so great about moving is like you get that fresh start, and you get to like, okay, how do we like style this room?
Shout out to Thrift Exchange too.
Oh,
in Boston.
In Boston, I've been there.
Yeah, I haven't been there yet, but
what?
Like they throw shows and shit too. The guy that owns it, and I'm like cool with them.
Oh, he's dope. What's his name?
Yeah, I don't know his name. I just like.
Hell yeah.
I remember doing a bunch of those shows and like they were all mad cool. I'm forgetting the name right now, but I do remember Thrift Exchange.
I interviewed Young Baby Jesus in the basement of Thrift Exchange.
Wow, that's fire.
And oh man, it's killing me that I can't remember that store.
I'm bad with names, man.
He's mad cool though, and you know, that's love. That's how they roll. Like the journey, they are about the journey. Okay.
This is actually a Cousin Stiz hoodie too.
You're kidding.
I'm not. You can't see it from it's a Monda hoodie. Monda. Back from that project.
Shout out to Cousin Stiz. I mean, that's definitely also somebody who has stayed consistent, and it feels like we've seen his elevation.
Yeah.
He's constantly getting up to the next level. Shout out Cousin Stiz and Monda. That's a little OG of you.
Yeah, I like that.
Because I feel like people weren't really rocking with Stiz until RCA came in, and you know, One Night Only, stuff like that. Monda's a little early. I like that.
I mean, he got some bigger songs, but honestly, that first initial wave of like Suffolk County, and
pretty much a classic album.
It's
in
a classic
context of Massachusetts.
That is a classic project. That project meant so much to the state, and I can't even really explain it because you would have had to like
You'd have to live it. Yes. Yeah. There were Stiz songs playing. This is like version 2 of Dub C, where Dub C is like half like Boston people that Anthony Prieto knew, and then half Springfield people. And like there was the DJ Sam Dees, he was playing these Cousin Stiz songs, and we were like in this like we were having like this music video release party, and it was like, oh damn, like this is all a thing. Like, this is legit.
Stiz was like one of the first people that had all the pieces.
Yes.
Like he had the image, he had Boston, he was showing you the realest form of Boston you could see. And he was surrounded by talent, surrounded by good people, surrounded by a team, a real system. So when it was time to go, it was off to the races. But I know, like, that was the first project where, like, because I would go to Boston since I was a kid with Hum. Like, I would always visit him, whether it was music or not. But, like, that was the first project where I would come back over here in Western Mass, and, like, I heard people playing Stiz. And I'm like, oh, shit, this is, like, the first, like, it was really just, when I was in high school, there was a guy named Malfi from Boston.
Yes.
That people were listening to. Not sure what happened there. Not important. But not to say that in like a condescending way. It's just
me neither.
Not important to like what I'm saying right now. But Stiz, I heard people playing that shit like in their cars and shit. I'm like, damn, like it like this might really be something cool for Mass. And it kept growing. I'm like, damn, we really might have somebody that could represent us on like a bigger level, you know? So shout out to them and everything that they're doing for sure. I'm trying to get like that.
Right, that he's kind of set the bar in terms of the new school, Boston's new school.
Yeah. I feel like we're even in a newer school too. Like
for sure, because that's like there's like the 2015 new school, and then there's the new school that started in like 2018.
Yeah,
which is a lot of what you're talking about. That new class and the Hawks and Reed shows that happened at that time. Yeah. Plus the Boston shows that happened.
Man, I miss doing the Hawks and Reed shows, man.
Well, you did this. They have this new segment where you perform a song, right? Mm-hmm. How did that go?
The Hot Shots, yeah.
Hot Shots.
It was cool. I like. I'm actually enjoying the like cool live performances. Like we did the Chickabee TV performance.
Yeah, it's creative. People are getting creative, and
it kind of it forces you to tap into a different talent. It's like you can't mess up. There's no, like at a live show, like I've dropped the microphone on the ground and people don't even notice because they're just too lit. So it's like I just pick it back up and keep going. In these, you gotta like be on point. You gotta have your bars like ready to go. Like the Chickabee TV performance, I couldn't curse, but which is like you'd never think to learn the song that way. I walked in and I told him, I was like, I might need a couple tries because blah blah blah. Lady was like, you get one shot because we got this ballerina thing that we're doing right after that's booked right next to you. So you got one shot. And it was that take that ended up coming out was the only try that I got. Like I had another one, but that was just because they wanted to hear it again, and I ended up messing up. So we used the first one. And these little cool, like, I don't know, live performances. I don't know what to call them, but they're interesting. I think people like the content, so I'm gonna keep doing them.
Keep doing them. Yeah, definitely. People appreciate the content, and just hearing a song live is another way to experience it. And I find myself just gravitating to that, comparing it to what the studio version sounds like, and a lot of times liking the live version more.
Yeah.
So it's a great way to just like get introduced to an artist. The next question I have, I forget what song this comes from, and you probably know off the top of your head, which is "Focused on My Equity and Money Schemes." What song is that in?
I can never let a rapper hustle me. Father told me I had to keep it secret. I don't remember it. I know the whole.
That's
like
okay.
I can say the whole rap.
So
That's
in
funny.
that, and then there's another place on the album where you talked stocks.
Yeah.
What are you thinking about financially and like those financial plays in 2020? What are some of your goals and ways that you see to make money?
I'd be lying if I said I'm like stock guru or some shit like. But I've definitely done like
when
a lot of.
When did you start with that?
I started doing like research on it back like I want to say like 3 or 4 years ago when I was interning and doing different jobs and just learning kind of like how to thrive in like these offices and meetings I was in, like stuff like that, and just kind of having things to talk about. And it's interesting. It's kind of like it feels like a video game to me, honestly. It doesn't feel like so serious. I'll invest in things I believe in. And
what platform do you use?
I use Robinhood.
Okay, me too.
Yeah, I like Robinhood. It's simple. It makes it simple. Like you don't have to do no extra shit like with taxes and all that. But it's fun. I think it's fun, and it's like, why not put money away? Why not like try to see what you can do in that market? Because it's another one of those things where honestly, like, I hate to like bring everything to race, but like a lot of these different American money schemes and things like that, we don't really get educated on. We kind of like,
we're not meant to participate.
Yeah, we have access to it, but we don't like. It's not even thought to teach us that. Like my parents don't care about that shit. Like they had a whole different list of struggles and things that they had to escape from to even get me to go to school in the first place. So it's like it kind of becomes my duty to like do the research and like start learning these things so that I can teach whoever I end up teaching, you know. So it became important to me to learn those things. And on top of that, equity, like I started realizing the value of like self and like what I need from different companies, what I need from any type of handshake that I make. I don't want just to be like written off. I need parts. Like I need pieces of everything.
Yeah.
It matters to me for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of reminiscent of like the kind of wave that Kanye is on, doing deals with the Gap and stuff like that. Oh, I want a seat on the board.
But one thing, there's a lot of people that would take the Nike deal and have no power.
Yeah.
Instead of taking like the
instead
Adidas
of knowing
deal.
your value and saying, give me that percentage, I'm going to Adidas otherwise.
Give me control. Give me strength. Instead of letting you kind of like take my brand, and then like it's gonna be huge, like it's gonna work, but you don't feel the same. It doesn't feel like you have the steering wheel, and that's what I need all the time. Yeah.
And a lot of what you're talking about is continued education. Will Austin Fair continue on to get his master's degree?
It's funny you ask me that, because I've been thinking about that the past few weeks, months even. I want to. I definitely want to. I'm 25 right now. It's something I think about a lot.
I mean, Swiss Beats went to Harvard at like late 30s, I want to say.
I'm not worried about age the way people are.
Me neither.
It's so weird to me how people think.
I think it's this really weird limiting, this trend of you need to be young to even try and be successful, in that like someone in their mid-20s would be not young, considered not young, is like this kind of weird limiting trend where they like want you to like not try.
I'm like, there was,
make any sense.
Not to like get like into anyone's business, but like let's say like I have a coworker who's like 40, and they might feel like this is like what they're supposed to be doing forever, you know what I mean? But they might have higher aspirations, but they don't chase those aspirations because, you know, this is Massachusetts. It's kind of like a system. You can have a great life in Massachusetts. You can have a house, family, dogs. It doesn't matter what you want, but you can achieve that here. But that's the ceiling, and Massachusetts does not hide that that's the ceiling. Like, this is what we do here. You can go to LA, you can go to other places, but let's not be naive. This is an academic state. Connecticut is like an academic state.
Academic, insurance.
And we have a way of doing things here. And you can reach kind of like this point, and then that's it. But like, you could be 40, and then you could go to school. My main boss, like, let's say he's almost 70. You could go to school for 8 years, start a whole career, work in that career for 12 years, and still be younger than your boss right now. And people be like, oh, nah, I can't. Like, no, I could do whatever I want. Like, I'm going to do this rap shit for a long time, and I'm probably going to do this broadcasting shit for a long time. And I'm probably going to do directing, all these things. I'm going to check off all these boxes because why not? I do want to get my master's one day. And I have like certain schools I've been looking at and like trying to figure out like how to even get back into that mindset again. I don't know if right now is the time. I don't know if next year is the time. But it is something I want to do for sure. I like college. I like school. I like meeting people that are on the same wavelength I'm on, because that's what college stood out. Like, that's what stood out about college for me, was that everyone was trying to do something. Like, even if they weren't that good at it, they were at least kind of like we're in the same kind of age group where usually like you get to meet people that are doing the same thing you're doing and kind of like create ideas with them. So that was the coolest part for me. And,
I enjoyed it for exactly the same reason.
Yeah.
And I was kind of, I wasn't necessarily sure what I wanted for myself in college.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny to be where I am now, where it's like, I'm very kind of knowledgeable and confident about exactly what I want.
Yeah, right.
So I want to go back to school with that. So I too
same exact
want
mentality
to get my master's for that reason, and just because I think there's very few people in the hip hop community that have their degree.
Yeah, and you start to feel like I'm a master's type dude. Like, I just like you feel like there's no reason why you wouldn't. Like, you can do it. So it's like, why not? You know? Right.
And I think the money is, for me, the money piece is like, oh yeah, that's why I'm not doing it now. But then once that money piece isn't such a huge factor, I can definitely see myself going.
Hell yeah.
Just getting everything in order and progressing. One of my favorite songs in the album, and this is like such a good transition that I'm glad things happen this way. Stack My Paper, Keep It G. Probably my favorite song just on the album.
Wow.
I ponder what it's like to change your life and what it would cost.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting statement. Oh, and to pair with that, the difference is the price. The difference in the price could be much cheaper if you're smart.
Yeah.
So this idea of how much would it be to change someone's life, and then what would it cost? So what's that dollar amount in your head, or what are the things that Austin Fair wants to own to be in a place where he feels comfortable?
What's crazy is it might not even be about the dollar.
Yeah.
It might be about you. Like, some people get in their own way. Some people step on their own toes.
Could be about the balance.
Like, some people might do
a lot of people
X,
do.
Y, and Z instead of just doing what they were supposed to be doing. And then that might take 10 years of your time. And then by the time you realize you just wasted all that time, you like look around and you're like, damn, like, what did I just do? But realistically, a lot of people don't realize, like, if you just follow yourself and stay what's true to you and stay like true to your core values and not care about what everybody else is doing. That's the thing about me. Like, I might have a friend has way more bread than me, way more successful than me.
I have most of my friends I went to college with, they're like that.
I don't look at it as like any type of way. I just look at it like congratulations, and I want to get like that too in my way though. Yeah, I mean, it's not about what anyone else is doing when you're worried about your goals. Like, if in a perfect world where Austin Fair, I wasn't even Austin Fair at the time, but where Austin Fair pops at 17 and then he has this cool career, and now you're looking at me at 25 and I'm like, oh, billboards, all that shit. Like, that's cool, but I'm so much smarter right now than I was when I was at that age.
And you can appreciate that.
Oh my God. Even the last time we did an interview.
Yeah.
I'm so much smarter every time.
Was it 2 years now?
Yeah, it's almost
Doesn't
2 years.
feel like it.
It's like things keep changing. I keep picking up game and I keep using it to keep getting better. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, what does it cost? It's not really a dollar amount. It's like, how much work are you willing to put in? How much of your time and your effort do you really want to do? Like, there's a reason why people keep telling me I'm consistent, or they keep telling me, oh, like, I'm trying to get like that. Like, you just keep working. Like, I'm not doing, to me, I'm like, I could be going like half speed and people think I'm going like crazy. When I'm going crazy, I know I'm like exhausted. I don't sleep for days straight. You know what I mean? I'm just working on stuff. But people need to think about, how much are you really willing to put in for what you ultimately want? And are you going to give up if you don't get it by the time you think you're supposed to get it because other people think that you're supposed to get it by that time? I don't give a damn what people think. I could pop in this music shit when I'm 35 and not care that it took that long. I'm still going to be making music because I'm an artist. I don't do this because of social media. I don't do this because other people thought it was cool and they hopped on the wave and then now they want to be popular in their city. We were doing this music shit for like fun at first, and it was just like true expression. We don't care about none of that extra shit. We just want to be great at the art form and people appreciate our work on bigger levels. That's what it's really about. For sure.
Wow. Yeah. Totally agree with that. The all-in mentality.
Hell yeah.
It's like, you're all in.
Yeah.
Everything's simple
This
now.
is it for us.
Everything's
like,
simple
yeah.
because you're all in.
Yeah.
Like, every decision is simple. That's a great place to be at. And, you know, I very much feel like I'm on the same page with that.
Yeah.
There's no going back, burn the ships, those type of sentiments.
It's the same way I treat work. I treat my jobs the same way. Like, I'm all in. I'm gonna give my maximum effort while I'm here, but don't feel as though I'm strapped down to this at any point. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, and you know, in the form of creativity is all about being swept away by something that you just like saw like a day ago, and it's completely changing the course of everything you're doing. Yeah. And I think there's something, it's very important to follow that part of your spirit.
Yeah.
There's another. This verse I didn't write down, but it's so important to what we're talking about right now. And it has to do with, I'm sitting in my director's chair with these other people, and it's magnificent. And that is a mega paraphrase. Yeah. But this idea of directing, you've mentioned directing earlier in the interview. Yeah. In what capacity do you see yourself as a director? What does that kind of future look like?
Oh, I've always been, like, from a mentality standpoint, I've always been a leader. So I naturally get put in these scenarios where I'm asked to lead. It's not like I seek it. It just happens because I have that type of persona. Like, I remember, like, in like grade school when you're like, when it's time to, remember, like, you'd have to do a group project and then be like, oh, pick someone to be the leader. I wasn't raising my hand. It was them saying, okay, like, all right, maybe because I'm well spoken or maybe because of things like that, but it was natural. So, like, now, like, I've directed videos and stuff like that musically, but now I'm like supporting directing, like, on actual newscasts. Like, I'll be like, on the weekends I'll do like the 10 o'clock show or things like that. I'm actually directing real live broadcasts now, but that's not my primary position yet. But, like, it is a big reality of what I'm doing now.
That's how it happens, essentially.
Yeah, and it's great. It's fun, and it's a new experience. It's not even, I didn't, like, when I was in college, even a year before this happened, I had no clue that I was going to be doing this. It wasn't even, like, on my agenda.
Oh, wow.
I was doing, like, marketing and, like, stuff like that. But now, like, TV has kind of, like, became, like, a side thing that, like, kind of grew its own way.
You're interested, and I'm sure it just feeds into everything you're already doing, right? The Austin Fair Show. I'm sure you have so many ideas from what you're doing over at WWLP for, like, the Austin Fair Show and how you have a show and do a show.
Hell yeah. Austin Fair Show is gonna be, like, a big deal one day.
Yeah.
And it's something I like. It wasn't always the Austin Fair Show, but we've been vlogging since I was 17. So I have moments that are on YouTube from way before all this shit. Wow. So it's like, it's nothing new. It's all just.
That would be an interesting throwback Thursday.
Hell yeah.
It's Thursday today. I want to jump into your Twitter, the Austin Fair Twitter.
Oh, man.
I wasn't a Twitter person before this year.
Really?
And then, like, everything slowed down, and then just wild, funny memes started happening on Twitter, so consistently.
I love Twitter so much.
People making fun of TikTok. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, I love this.
Twitter's fire.
I'm gonna be like, now I'm pretty much just like, if I'm at home editing for a day, I'm pretty much on Twitter for that whole day.
Word.
What's your experience been like with Twitter before we jump into some things you've said?
Oh, I love Twitter. I mean, I've been on Twitter since, like, I want to say 2011 or like maybe earlier than that, maybe 2010. And I've watched it evolve, and it's a good platform for people like me that just, like, love talking all the time. So, like, I don't know if you agree with my opinions or you don't. It's just, it's there. And then
I disagree with your opinions on Tom Brady, but everything else is pretty cool.
It's a way for
me. You're a hater, man.
People love arguing with me about sports for some reason, and I just feed into it because it's like, it is what it is. Like, honestly, a lot of people get paid to have bad opinions on sports.
Yeah, so you're down for that. ESPN's right in Connecticut.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so something from the Austin Fair Twitter. I'm not slept on. I'm from Chicopee, Mass. LMAO.
Yeah. There was like, people, when like, a lot of these, like, TV things started happening, like, a lot of people were like, oh, he slept on, things like that. And I don't want people to feel like that. That was, like, mostly my point. I don't want people to feel like, man, like, why isn't our guy, like, doing bigger things. Like y'all should have been like
posting. Been on the Austin.
Like you guys should have like don't. It's okay. Like it's fine. Like I'm very self-aware that like I'm 25 and I'm still doing this shit and I'm still learning and still trying to like get to a bigger level. But that's fine because I'm from Mass. Like that's how it works. You don't even like. I didn't even finish school until like 2 years ago. So like
it's still early for you.
I'm just now getting the amount of time that all these other artists had, like every day, and I'm still working, so it's really not even the same amount of time. But in the sense of it's okay that things haven't been like huge yet. We're still going there. Like we're still doing that.
Yeah, I think. Do you think everything's just gonna flip on its head, and it's just gonna be like one day? You go, and then the next person, and then everybody's hot?
No.
I think, okay, how do you see it coming about?
I see
Austin Fair fan fiction.
It's like a survival of the fittest thing. I do think there's a ton of talent from Massachusetts. I do think that there's a lot of artists that could and should make it. But I do not think...
I want you to name one person from Western Mass that's not you that you also like. Because we talked a lot about the Eastern Mass guys. Yeah. Who's one person from Western Mass that you like? And you can only pick one. Only picking one is what makes it fun.
Oh, man, that's hard.
Because the list is so long. That is hard. And I mean, it's not a discredit to anyone else.
As far as like newer names, I'd say Ish.
There, bam, that's one. Thank you.
Yeah.
I like Ish too.
Yeah,
like a ton.
And
he fits in really well to like this whole like Kid Laroi wave and like Ian Dior, 24K Golden with his sound and his.
But beyond the music, what stands out to me is his effort, his work ethic, and things like that.
And he's doing like what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
He's in his home studio making music, and he knows how to make music. He doesn't need other people to make music, and like that's the wave I think a lot of people need to start getting on.
People like a lot of artists that are coming up don't understand that like real. Like musicians and artists, we like are not looking at the same things that people are like the groupies and the fans are looking at. Like I'm trying to find out what your work ethic is like. I'm trying to see what your patterns are. I'm studying different things. I'm not looking at the same things.
So true. Like I think of, these perceptions are so worthless, right? Mm-hmm. You take an artist that has success and, resources and talent, right? And none of that has gone anywhere. Mm. But all of a sudden, there's this perception that this person isn't it anymore.
Yeah.
No, they're still somebody with a lot of resources and a lot of success and a lot of talent. And T-Pain is a great example. It's like T-Pain had this video where he's like, people be like, T-Pain is washed. And he's just like dancing in front of his Bentleys, in front of his mansion. And it's like, yeah, that's pretty much the answer. Like,
on the flip side of that too, right? I look at a lot of artists that made it. Like, you don't have to have multiple like smash hits, but I'm saying like they made it. Like they have a hit song or two, and they have all the resources, they have the budget, they have everything ready to go. They're only stepping on their own toes. And I look at those people, and I'm like, man, if you knew what I would do with your exact situation, like, oh my God, I'm too real. Like, I'm too much of an artist to not, like, once I get the chance to show what I really am capable of, I'm not even making music every day. I'm not. I'm just being honest. Like, a lot of people lie and say that they're on this shit, like, all the time. Like,
and you don't need to be. And, like, as a person not making music every day, you have all this in the stash and all this stuff ready to go. So
I don't even get to tap into
when you get right.
So when I see other artists that are like me, like they record, they work hard, they shoot videos, they do all these things. I look at it and I don't even care where you came from. I'm just like, he gets it. Like Ish gets it. He understands what we gotta do here and other places and represent things like that. So shout out to everybody doing it.
Everybody doing that, yeah. So we're back to Austin Fair on Twitter. I've got 3 of these, so this is number 2. Whoa, man, this is pretty much everything we just talked about. Never complain about support. Work harder.
Yeah.
So that's literally what we just talked about.
Yeah.
Do you kind of remember making that tweet and like anything?
Hell yeah, because it matters, man. Like, people don't understand if you're the artist who hops on Twitter every day on some like, yo, why aren't y'all fucking with my shit? Like, oh, like no one supports my music, but everybody doing this. Like, that does not make anyone want to play the song.
It doesn't attract people to you.
It does not.
I do 0 of that.
Yeah.
Like I actually can't.
And on top of that, and I broke it down kind of like on my Instagram story. I was like, listen, if you are complaining about the support, like let's say 5 people listen to your project. Like, I'm talking about really listen to your shit. Like, yeah, and this is, and I can relate to this because this is exactly how Pioneer went. I dropped Pioneer. Not that many people heard it. I'd say like under 50 people heard it. And
I was in that 50.
And I didn't hop out and say like, oh, no one's fucking on my shit, blah, blah, blah. The people that listened to it, they were heartfelt messages. We had full conversations. Everything was great to me, but people get so caught up in like seeing the next guy getting more likes than them and seeing the next person like start getting the shit that they want. They're not even focused on the people that are actually playing their shit right now. So you start hopping on Twitter, you start hopping on your story like, oh, like no one's supporting me. There's people supporting you. And now they're not about to anymore because you just made them look crazy for supporting you in the first place.
Right, it's not a good look, but refortify the fort. You got people messing with you. You got people watching your moves. Reach out to them, see how they're doing. Like, see what's up with them. And especially now, you're like sitting at home, like see what they're up to.
I care way more about the people that
about the people.
Truly get me and truly have been listening. Truly have been like. Every project, they have something to say productive. I was at the mall with my girl, and one of my friends from like high school, he's still like, he's not a social media guy. Never cares to like post nothing crazy or nothing like that. But for some reason, he was always still checking out my music. Never really like hits me up about it. But he was like, oh, I listen to, and this is Hippodrome time.
Yep.
I dropped Hippodrome. Everything is great. Like, we're doing mad cool shows and shit. And he was like, oh, like, I feel like that wasn't you, and like I feel like you could do this. When I get shit like that, and it was to my face, in front of my girl, he didn't have to do that.
Nice.
But I was like,
and you appreciate that.
I respect you for that, because it's like you actually care about my shit. Like, you want to see me win. So that type of stuff leads to projects like Alumni, leads to projects like Pioneer, where I'm like getting into some real personal shit, where I'm expressing myself differently.
Digging in.
So I'm always going to do the fun shit, but I listen to my fans, and everybody should more.
Absolutely. And I think, the point that's really important, it's all really valuable. You don't want to leave anyone out in the cold. Like, you got all these styles, and you're ready to bring it for everybody.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And that's where the work comes in. All right, last tweet from Austin Fair.
I hope it's nothing crazy.
And this is something that we kind of talked about, how the mental health piece was something we really wanted to get into for a time like this.
Yeah.
I'm losing my mind while simultaneously thriving in most areas of my life.
Yeah.
What a time.
Yeah.
And obviously, right? Like, Pioneer's going well. Your career's going well. What does Austin Fair have to worry about? No one has any pity for Austin Fair, but there's a lot of stuff weighing on Austin Fair's mental.
It's hard navigating this situation that we're in, this time that we're in.
You said you were depressed.
Yeah, a lot of people are, and they don't know that they are. They don't even acknowledge it, and that's why people be fucked up. Because it's like, you have to just realize sometimes, like, the reality of things. Okay, I understand. This is the this is like, I've never seen a year like this. We probably haven't in history. Like, I've never seen something like this, where we're going through racial tension. We're going through an election with the shittiest president we've ever seen in our lives. We never, like, it's just, everything is adding up to just monumental stress. And I'm on the media end of things, kind of like, not on the front lines of it, but like, this is like getting installed in my head every day.
You're getting the updates, like constant updates on what's going on.
I was at work doing like audio training lessons, like I was doing like voice training lessons when Kobe died, and it was like, damn, like it hit me like a nuclear force, and everyone around me, they've kind of been there longer. They just like normal day.
It's a normal day at the news.
Yeah. So,
but no, it's not.
Yeah, me being someone with like empathy and like compassion, like I care about certain shit more, and like I don't know, I don't let shit affect me too much, but I'm someone that acknowledges my feelings, and I acknowledge when I'm going through like weird times. So, like with the Pioneer Project, with all these like cool things happening, like TV and all that shit, it's cool, and it feels awesome. But I still know there's like this, like, I'm always thinking about, damn, like I can't perform the project. I can't do this. I can't do that. I'm like, I know there's moments where we're missing out on that I just can't get back. So like, I feel like we could sell out a Hawks and Reed show right now.
Yep.
With the steam that we have going on, and the other artists I would have perform with me and shit like that. And it would just be a big ass moment for this area. And I'm like, damn, I can't give that to people right now.
Not this.
And I just feel like my hands are tied. And it's like, I'm very happy. Like, even the award, like, that would be a moment for our family to get dressed up and go to this cool award show. Me and Humbeats were cousins. That would be our family with us. And, like, we never really had a chance to show them, like, how we are. Like, they understand that we make music, but they don't really, like, see it like that. They don't get to see it. And that would be like a moment for them to like see us like doing our thing and see how people treat us, like firsthand. So all those things, like I'm not gonna say I'm like super depressed or anything where it's dangerous, but I acknowledge when I'm feeling certain ways, and more people should.
Right.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be trying to take these emotions and say, oh, like, let me bottle them up and put them away and just like work through this. Like, this is a good time to feel the feelings. Like, this is a good time to just face what's bothering you. And something I did, a couple things I did, is I went and got like a professional massage, and this lady was teaching me about like different places people carry stress in their shoulders, and different like exercises you can do to kind of like relieve this type of stuff. And then the other thing I like to do is like before bed, I like to just like think about what's really bothering me. Like, because a little action can happen, but if it triggers you, you need to get to the bottom of like, why is that triggering me? What is the real cause? And like facing that. Mm-hmm. What do you do for like therapeutic type of stuff besides just making music?
I work out. I mean, that
you're
helps.
Up early working out.
Yeah, I started like running recently, which helped a lot. Like, cause it's humbling. It's hard to do. It's not like everything. Like, not to sound any type of way, but like when I do music, it has kind of gotten easy. Like it's fun, and it's still the same way. It's still exciting to like find new sounds and explore my own creativity. But it is kind of like doing a layup at this point. Like
that's what podcasting is like for me.
I can make a good song. I know that already. But it's like when you do things that humble you, like running and failing, that was like a big thing for me. And just being alone. I'm someone that like I have older siblings and all that, but I mean, they went to college and all that, so I ended up kind of like growing up like by myself in my room,
only child
with my laptop. You know what I mean? So I ended up just enjoying personal space and like giving yourself that mental like space to just be alone and do what you gotta do, think, not do anything, sit there.
You and your thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a great chair for that right behind that wall.
It's okay to just stop for a second. Some days I'll just.
This is a good time to stop.
Yeah.
You're not missing nothing.
And I don't treat myself like I don't put myself down for that either. Sometimes I enjoy just taking a full day to do nothing, not talk too much. Like my girl understands it. We just like sometimes you just gotta chill, and then you come back way more refreshed and things like that. Because I give my full effort every time I'm doing anything else. So sometimes I gotta just and that's how it works for me. I honestly haven't found the perfect therapy for me yet, but I will. Maybe it's success. Maybe I'm just too hungry and I can't relax, and I just need to. And until I feel like I've achieved what I need.
I think that's what we get caught up in a lot.
Right.
I don't know if that's gonna be it, but yeah, there's a lot of this like, oh, I'll go deal with this after, like at a certain point, putting something between you and like being happy or getting better, and it's like that's not a good idea. Yeah. Do it now. Choose happiness now.
I was talking to, I don't know if it was Humbeats or someone, but it was something like super simple, and I was like, oh, I'll put that off for 3 months, but I'll go record an album in a day. And it's like, yo, why am I like that? But it just is how it is sometimes. I literally make an effort to do exactly what I want to do almost every day that I can. Not enough people are like that.
It's a good way to live. Yeah. I'm trying to get there more. And there's a lot of this idea of, oh, the practicality around that. You need to eat, blah, blah, blah. But you can get yourself, you can work to get there.
I'm someone that has responsibilities too. I have a crib, I have a car I have to pay for, I have all these things. And I'm not naive to the fact of responsibility. And a lot of people think like, oh, he's trying to say like you just do whatever you want. No, I work. I bust my ass for this. It's not
free.
Yeah, it's not free. I put in hours of time every single week to do to live how I want. And that's just how it is.
Nice. I mean, that's a beautiful place to end it. I feel like. What are some of your closing thoughts or shout outs or anything that's still on your mind?
Man, I wish I had like names. I always like beat myself up because I never think of people's names, and then
that's okay.
Afterwards, I'm like, man, I should shout out this person. Shout out to everybody like still working, still going hard, still finding ways to be productive. I'm with everybody. I'm with all the feelings. I'm with the depression. I'm with the anxiety. I'm with the success. I'm with the happiness. I'm with all of it because it's just real. It's true to what's going on right now. It's true to this year. Keep working. Keep innovating. Keep being a pioneer. Keep doing your own thing. And don't stop because of the times that we're in. Because honestly, at the end of this thing, whenever that does happen, the people that were ready, the people that kept going, the people that knew that you gotta stay down for the come up, that's who's gonna win. So I'm just being one of those people.
Me too. I am like wildly optimistic about everything that's going on.
Yeah. Have to be.
All right. This has been the Organized Sound Podcast. We had Austin Fair on. We chopped it all the way up. Go listen to Pioneer Deluxe Edition if you haven't already. I'm going to link that down below. And we're wishing you the best here. That's the ultimate thing.